25. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. David consulted with the commanders of thousands and of hundreds with every leader. And David said to all the assembly of Israel, If it seems good to you, and from the Lord our God, let us send abroad to our brothers who remain in all the lands of Israel, as well as to the priests and Levites in the cities that have pasture lands, that they may be gathered to us. Then let us bring again the ark of our God to us, for we did not seek it in the days of Saul. All the assembly agreed to do so, for the thing was right in the eyes of all the people. So David assembled all Israel from the Nile of Egypt to Lebo-Hamath to bring the ark of God from Kiriath-Jearim. And David and all Israel went up to Baalah, that is to Kiriath-Jearim, that belongs to Judah, to bring up from there the ark of God, which is called by the name of the Lord, who sits enthroned over the cherubim, and carry the ark of God on a new cart from the house of Abinadab and Uzzah and Ahio, who were driving the cart. And David and all Israel were celebrating before God with all their might, with song and lyres, with harps and tambourines, cymbals and trumpets. And when they came to the threshing floor of Shadon, Uzzah put out his hand to take hold of the ark, for the oxen stumbled, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and he struck him down dead, because he was put out his hand to the ark. He died there before God. David was angry because the Lord had broken out against Uzzah, and that place is called Perez Uzzah to this day. David was afraid of God that day, and he said, How can I bring the ark of God home to me? So David did not take the ark home into the city of David, but he took it aside to the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. And the ark of God remained with the household of Obed-Edom in his house 3 months. The Lord blessed the household of Obed-Edom and all that he had. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent messengers to David, and cedar trees also, masons and carpenters, to build a house for him. David knew that the Lord had established him as king over Israel, and that his kingdom was highly exalted for the sake of his people Israel. David took more wives in Jerusalem, and David fathered more sons and daughters. These are the names of his children born to him in Jerusalem: Shemua, Shobab, Nathan, Solomon, Ibhar, Elishua, Elphalet, Noga, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Beelida, and Eliphalet. When the Philistines heard that David had been anointed king over all Israel, all the Philistines went up to search for David. But David heard of it and went out against them. Now the Philistines had come and made a raid on the valley of Rephaim. And David inquired of God, Shall I go up against the Philistines? Will you go and give them into my hand? The Lord said to him, Go up, and I will give them into your hand. He went up to Baal-perazim, and David struck them down there. David said, God has broken through my enemies by my hand like a bursting flood. Therefore the name of that place is called Baal-perazim. And they left their gods there, and David gave command, and they were burned. The Philistines yet again made a raid in the valley, and when David again inquired of God, God said to him, You shall not go up there after them. Go around and come against them opposite the balsam trees. When you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the balsam trees, then go out to battle, for God has gone out before you to strike down the army of the Philistines. And David did just as God commanded him, and they struck them down, the Philistine army, from Gibeon to Gezer. And the fame of David went out into all lands, and the Lord brought the fear of him upon the nations. David built houses for himself in the city of David, and he prepared a place for the ark of God, and he pitched a tent for it. Then David said that no one but the Levites may carry the ark of God, for the Lord had chosen them to carry the ark of the Lord, and to minister to him forever. David assembled all Israel at Jerusalem to bring up the ark of the Lord to its place, which he had prepared for it. David gathered together the sons of Aaron and the Levites, of the sons of Kohath, Uriel the chief with 120 of his brothers, of the sons of Merari, Asaiah the chief with 220 of his brothers, of the sons of Gershom, Joel the chief with 120 of his brothers, of the sons of Eliphalah, Elizaphan, Shemaiah the chief with 200 of his brothers, of the sons of Hebron, Eliel the chief with 80 of his brothers, of the sons of Uzziel, Aminadab the chief with 112 of his brothers. Then David summoned the priests Zadok and Abiathar, and the Levites Uriel, Asaiah, Joel, Shemaiah, Eliel, Aminadab, and he said to them, You are the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites. Consecrate yourselves, you and your brothers, so that you may bring up the ark of the Lord, the God of Israel, to the place that I have prepared for it. Because you did not carry it the first time, The Lord our God broke out against us, because we did not seek him according to the rule. So the priests and the Levites consecrated themselves to bring up the ark of the Lord, the God of Israel. And the Levites carried the ark of God on their shoulders, with the poles, as Moses had commanded, according to the word of the Lord. David also commanded the chiefs of the Levites to appoint their brothers as the singers, who should play loudly on musical instruments, on harps and lyres, and cymbals to raise sounds of joy. So the Levites appointed Heman, the son of Joel, and his brothers Asaph, the son of Berechiah, and of the sons of Merari, their brothers Ethan, the son of Cushiah, and with them their brothers of the second order, Zechariah, Jaziel, Shemiramoth, Jahiel, Unai, Eliab, Benaniah, Maaseiah, Mattithiah, Eliphaluhu, Obed-Edom, and Jael. Micaniah. The singers Heman, Asaph, and Ethan were to sound bronze cymbals. Zechariah, Aziel, Shemiramoth, Jahiel, Unai, Eliab, Maaseiah, and Benaniah were to play harps according to the Alamoth, but Mattithiah, Eliphaluhu, Micaniah, Obed-Edom, Jael, and Azaziah were to lead with lyres according to the Sheminith. Shenaniah, leaders of the Levites in music, should direct the music, for he understood it. Berechiah and Elkanah were to be gatekeepers for the ark. Shebaniah, Joshaphat, Nethanel, Amasai, Zechariah, Benaniah, and Eleazar, the priests, should blow the trumpets before the ark of God. Obed-Edom and Jehiah were to be gatekeepers for the ark. So David and the elders of Israel and the commanders of thousands went to bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord from the house of Obed-Edom with rejoicing. And because God helped the Levites who were carrying the ark of the covenant of the Lord, they sacrificed 7 bulls and 7 rams. David was clothed with a robe of fine linen, as also were all the Levites who were carrying the ark, and the singers, and Shenaniah, and the leader of the music of the singers. And David wore a linen ephod. So all Israel brought up the ark of the covenant of the Lord with shouting, to the sound of the horn, trumpets, and cymbals, and he made loud music on harps and lyres. And as the ark of the covenant of the Lord came to the city of David, Michal, the daughter of Saul, looked out of the window and saw David dancing and celebrating, and she despised him in her heart. Envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them, for their hearts devise violence, and their lips talk of trouble. By wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. By knowledge the rooms are filled, and with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is full of strength, and a man of knowledge enhances his might. For by wise guidance you can wage your war, and in abundance of counselors there is victory. Wisdom is too high for a fool. In the gate he does not open his mouth. Whoever plans to do evil will be called a schemer. The devising of folly is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to mankind. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Rescue those who are being taken away to death, and hold back those who are stumbling to the slaughter. If you say, Behold, we did not know this, does not he who weighs the heart perceive it? Does not he who keeps watch over your soul know it? And will he not repay man according to his work? My son, eat honey, for it is good, and the drippings of the honeycomb are sweet to your taste. Know that wisdom is such to your soul. If you find it, there will be a future, and your hope will not be cut off. Lie not in wait as a wicked man against the dwelling of the righteous. Do no violence to his home. For the righteous falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble in times of calamity. Do not rejoice when your enemy falls, and let not your heart be glad when he stumbles, lest the Lord see it and be displeased, and he turn away his anger from him. Fret not yourself because of evildoers, and be not envious of the wicked, for the evil man has no future, and the lamp of the wicked will be put out. My son, fear the Lord and the king, and do not join with those who do otherwise, for disaster will arise suddenly from them, and who knows the ruin that will come from them both. These are the sayings of the wise. Partiality in judging is not good. Whoever says to the wicked, You are in the right, will be cursed by people and abhorred by nations. But those who rebuke the wicked will have delight, and a good blessing will come upon them. Whoever gives an honest answer kisses the lips. Prepare your work outside, and get everything ready for yourself in the field. After that, build your house. Be not a witness against your neighbor without cause, and do not deceive with your lips. Do not say, I will do to him as he has done to me. I will repay the man back for what he has done. I passed by a field of the sluggard, by the vineyard of a man lacking sense. Behold, it was all overgrown with thorns. The ground was covered with nettles, and its stone wall was broken down. Then I saw, and I considered it, and I looked and received instruction. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man. Peace is the treasure of treasures, the pearl of great price. It is an exquisitely costly gift both for the giver and the receiver. I purchased this peace for you with my blood. You receive this gift by trusting me in the midst of life's storms. If you have the world's peace, everything going your way, you don't seek my unfathomable peace. Thank me when things do not go your way, because spiritual blessings could come wrapped in trials. Adverse circumstances are normal in a fallen world. Expect them each day, and rejoice in the face of hardship, for I have overcome the world. Matthew 13:46. Who, when we had one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had, and he bought it. James 1:2. Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds. John 16:33. I have told you these things, so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, for I have overcome the world. 50:7-9. For the Lord God will help me, therefore shall I not be confounded. Therefore have I set my face like a flint, and I know that I shall not be ashamed. He is near that justifieth me. Who will contend with me? Let us stand together. Who is mine adversity? Let him come near to me. Behold, the Lord God will help me. Who is he that shall condemn me? Lo, they all shall wax old as a garment, the moth shall eat them up. Every day of our lives brings challenges and battles. That is a natural part of living in a world marred by sin, and of facing a spiritual adversity devoted to our destruction. If we are foolish enough to try to fight and win these battles on our own, we will try and we will quickly find that our resources and strengths are inadequate. In those moments, we can continue to struggle, or we can turn to God for help and find in Him what we need. Those who rely on God and live in the fullness of His power find all the resources necessary for victory. It is true that God did not always work in a way we would choose, but it is also true that He always works in the best way, in a way that is best. We can trust Him to protect and provide, to bring about His desired results, and He shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. We do not have to ever worry or wonder whether God is willing or able to help those who cry out to Him. The answer is yes, and that gives us confidence to face the challenges we meet each day. God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. We also do not need to fear that God will get tired of us coming to Him and desire to stop helping us, because we have come so many times before. For Charles Spurgeon said, God will never cease to help us until we cease to need. God helps those who come to Him seeking His aid in times of trouble.